All right. Let's tell the world that we're streaming. Streaming, game dev, learning, Godot, paste. So, I spent the morning trying to record Yakuza Like a Dragon footage and talking over it. So my voice is gone, but we'll go ahead and stream some anyways. What we're going to do today is we're going to try and figure out how Godot handles some mechanical stuff. We're going to try and make it so that our silly little face here has some variants that turn on and off based on random numbers. So first thing we're going to do is draw up a variant. I guess the easiest variant for us to draw up would be another set of eyes. That would probably be the fastest thing to do. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the background face, and then we'll find where the eyes are. We didn't name anything because we're super clever like that. I think this is the eyes. Nope, that's the eyebrows. That's the eyes. So here you can see that our eyes are set up like this. There are 2 layers for these eyes, and there are technically 3. One of them is not mirrored. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename this folder to eyes, and then we're just going to duplicate the whole folder like this. And that will allow us to quickly edit the eyes to be similar. The most important part of this is, of course, that we need the mirror. If the symmetry... Ooh, I bet that was loud. Hopefully it didn't. Let me just check and make sure that mic didn't disconnect. Seems fine. All right, so the most important thing we need is the symmetry. We can't really do much without the symmetry. So what we're going to do is I think we're just going to draw some basic closed eyes like this. And then this is, of course, the line section of the eyes. The line is important because even though we don't have any, what do you want to call it? We don't have any eye color visible in this. We are still going to have lighter and darker elements. So to do that, we're going to go off of the mirror modifier and put in some lighter and darker elements just so that the face feels like it actually might exist. Very basic stuff like this will work fine. I'm just trying to get it so that it's not too overdone. There we go. And then we just hide the original, or the underlying layer there. And then this will be eyes B. I think we should be able to... Let me just go ahead and switch it over while I work on this for just a second. Yeah, eyes B line. Eyes blinds. We don't need to scale it. It's at the right size already. There we go. And then we're going to save a transparent value as eyes A color. Or B color, rather. So I'll just bring that back here. And this is going to be eyes B color. All right. Now we're going to go over into Godot. And we're going to try and figure out how to get it to switch between those 2 images. By the way, I would really enjoy it if Godot's pop-up box here just didn't exist. If I need the log, I'll go to the place and find it. I really don't need a background box that is just gumming things up. It makes everything take an extra click. Okay, so anyway, we've got eyes A color, and we're going to go ahead and bring in the eyes B stuff. We're going to want to edit them so that they don't have a filter applied. It doesn't appear to be any way to turn the filter off universally, at least not that I've seen. So the basic idea is that we could put the eyes A and eyes B. For some reason, it won't let me drag them up here. I can drag them over here, but not over here. It's very weird. And for some reason, our eyes B color Oh, well, I grabbed the wrong ones, didn't I? So hold on. Eyes be color is definitely wrong for some reason. I'm not sure. That's fine. This has to be re-imported though. We didn't manage to snag it there. Eyes be color is for some reason opaque. Why is this opaque? I saved a transparent file. There shouldn't be anything in it. But as you can see, it is 100% opaque. That's very weird. I mean, there's nothing here. All I can think of is that there is something in Godot which imports a transparent file as flat white, which is stupid. So what we're going to do is add in a color value by painting 1 pixel up here and then softening it to 3%, and then we'll export that. Yeah, brilliant. So apparently a flat transparent PNG counts as a flat white PNG, which is not even vaguely correct. That's a very strange choice on their part, and it's extremely stupid. So this is the sort of thing that I generally expect from open source solutions. They always have these bizarre things that don't make any sense. But hey, someone programmed them a decade ago, and that was important back then to them for some reason. And so therefore, they still exist today. And I just don't... That's the thing I don't like about them. Obviously, proprietary ones like Unreal and Unity have the same problem, but those are generally hidden below the surface. What we're going to do is we're going to put eyes... This is at 0, 0, 0, right? I'm going to feel stupid if it's not, yeah. So there's a couple of ways, basic ways, to try and make it so that these things can turn on and off. One way is to have the eye elements stored separately. So we could have just like a flat eye sprite and an eye overlay sprite, and then we could choose the contents of those sprites programmatically. Another way is to put them all in the scene and turn some of them on and turn some of them off. The method we're going to start with is the version we put them all in the scene, because what I want to do is I want to get the unclicking working, and I don't really know anything about it. So what I want to have happen is, can I turn this on and off? Is there like a visibility marker? Yeah, here it is, pink. So if I turn this off, what I want to have happen is when we click, I would like to swap the visibility of these two things. And I don't really know how to do that. I know absolutely zero about it. I didn't even bother to get that far the first time I was working with Godot. But here you can see we've got these node elements here. Draw, hide, visibility changed, ready, renamed. What I'd like to do is add in some kind of clickable. So attach script, GD script, native script, C# or visual script. So is GD script text, or is that the node editor? Is visual script the node editor? Okay, so that's text. I don't really want to learn the text. So what we're going to do is, what the hell? It apparently did not maintain the scene that we were in, so now we've got to hunt the scene up again and reopen it. And it's fucking reverted. Oh, fuck you. Oh my god. You closed the scene without saving and without warning because I was trying to edit a script that was within the scene. Fucking seriously? That's not like a small problem. That's a catastrophic issue that's going to crop up every single time I ever edit a script of any type in any scene. That's fucking weird and dumb. That's a game breaker. It's a deal breaker. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. That is not okay. You don't close and not save without warning. That's really astonishingly stupid. Like, I can't even imagine why they would even think that that's vaguely okay. That's on par with like having a word editor that when you press space, it inserts a tab. It makes no sense. It also makes no sense that I can't drag these into the scene hierarchy. They actually get put in the right spot, but for some reason I have to manually go into them and zero out all the things that got changed without me wanting to have them changed. All right, so just check and see whether that's... Yeah, okay. So that's good, but now we have to save. And somehow it unhid them? What the even saving is half broken. So I think what happened is I hit undo somehow, and it somehow undid several things in one shot. Brilliant. Okay, so now that that's saved, we can try and figure out how to attach something to this thing. Attach a script. Am I not even in the right spot? Do I need to be... Is it not a script that I want? Is it like a blueprint or something? I mean, this looks like what I want. We're going to try it. And look, it's still open over here. So, was it specifically because I opened up a text file, or did I screw up and click on the wrong thing and not notice? Ugh, whatever. Yeah, so here we've got a bunch of different things here. What we really want to do is get the event that happens when someone clicks on us. Let's just keep scrolling and see what we've got. Functions for drawing. Get canvas, get world, get editor, get pause mode, get priority. There have to be events somewhere. You have to have a place to start. So one of these has to be an event system. I have a feeling all of the .f's are not going to be events because that normally stands for function. Here's some more f's. Let's go ahead and just take a look here. Class constant, global constant, math constant, custom code, subcall, action. That doesn't seem to have any like sub elements, so we're going to keep moving down. Condition, sequence, switch, typecast. So I presume that VS stands for a Visual Studio node, a Visual Script node, and that these are basically just functions. Doing this stuff without looking at any tutorials at all is obviously not the recommended way to do it, but I always learn so much about how the setup works, how the whole thing is functioned, how the whole thing functions. Sorry, I've been talking for like 6 hours today, and I still haven't mastered it. It's one of those things, you know? Let's just keep scrolling for a second. There's got to be some kind of function. Maybe it's a different category of node. Yeah, I don't see anything. So, did I click add function or add node? I clicked add node, right? Yeah, this is nodes. Oh, okay, so that just creates new functions. They're not... Oh, maybe I have to tell it when it turns on? No. So we'll delete that. Delete. There we are. Signals. New signal. On click. That's not how you spell it, but it's close enough because it's not going to be right. So here is where we emit the on click. So a signal is probably just used to communicate between visual scripts on different objects. I don't think we need it here. Yes, I know. That's why I guess it's fine. So the question becomes, how do we access how do we get this thing to fire up? Because I want it to happen on click. I opened up the documentation and it is pretty crappy. Inputs. Input events. It's in GD script. So is their visual scripting just not working? I don't want to write code in your friggin' trash can language that doesn't work. I'd love to write code in C#, but you explicitly said not to because it isn't alpha. Let's just ask the internet. Godot tutorial on click visual script. Getting started with visual scripting. As with everything in Godot, we pray. Alright, so they're using functions with just names. Is this one of those things where I have to name the function the right thing? No, that's not it at all. Because they don't have a function named new function. They've got a function named on area entered. I don't know if that would work or not. Here's something weird, okay? So I'd like to rename this. 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 Okay, I have to click on the little thing here. Fine, whatever. All right, I'd like to just click on this, and then I'll come over here. I'll click on this and delete it. The fuck? You want to tell me why it's different between two different spots on the exact same window? Why is this something where if you click on it, you edit the name, and that's something where no matter how many times you click on it, you don't edit the name? Creating a script. Select any node in the scene and push the new script button. Select the visual script. The visual script will open, adding a function. Unlike other visual scripting implementations, visual scripting in Godot is heavily based on functions. This happens because it uses the same interface to communicate with the engine as other scripting engines. In Godot, the scripting interface is universal. A function is an individual canvas with nodes connected. So this is a function, and this is presumably another canvas that I can go into, which is kind of pointless. There are three main ways to add functions in a script. Override a virtual function by using this copy button. All right, fine. Let's delete this and this. Yay! All right, now we're getting somewhere. So here you can see a bunch of things. I don't see one for on click. Presumably, this is it. All right, so if we have that, is there like what I want to do is I want to just have some kind of thing that just goes, yes, I'm happening. Print. So how do I change what it's printing? Oh, is that what it's printing? The object? Okay, that's fine. So I can't imagine this will work, but let's try it anyway. So we go back over here into 2D mode, and in theory, when we click on this, we should get some output. But I don't think it'll work until we're in play mode. Yeah, so here you can see input event mouse motion, which seems to happen because I put it on the main base node, not on the container node for the face. That's fine. And then there's the mouse button input event. So does that mean I have to manually check and see if it's specifically named input event mouse button? That seems kind of klutzy. Shouldn't that be like an enum or something? I shouldn't have to manually type it out. That didn't work at all, did it? So is action string. So I'm supposed to pass it a string for the action. Why is it a string-based setup? Well, they have the representation here. They're showing like a button. Let's go back over here into this and see whether or not we can just add a button. There might be like a prefabricated button idea. I see that I have a spammer. Who knows how long that's been there. But once again, it is one of those things where if I report him, I have to fill out a spreadsheet and you know, take screenshots because Twitch is apparently unable to look at the various chat messages that I'm trying to report. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to block him because apparently Twitch is okay with spammers and therefore whatever, right? Good thing I'm so unpopular. So what we're looking for is a button. Button. Who's got the button? I mean, you'd think it would be up here under B. There's a touchscreen button. Did I miss a different kind of button? Bone, canvas, collision, joint, damped, mesh instance, navigation, parallax, particle, path, position, sprite, tile map, touch screen button, visibility notifier. That's interesting. I have a feeling there is a button and I'm just not looking in the right spot. Button. There it is. It's under control, of course, that makes sense. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a button. Button. Create. And if we take a look, there it is. It's a beautiful button. We're just going to drop that in underneath the face for now. Now, in theory, we should be able to edit that, but I don't really know how. Let's hold on before we go anywhere else. All right. So I believe that there should be. So basically, the idea here is that the button has an output that gets sent whenever we click it. Let's just, press play and see whether or not it responds to being clicked. Yeah, it responds. And so that output should be something that we can attach to. but I want to see how it happens. So what I'd like to do is edit the button's script. It's probably not in Visual Script anyway. It's probably in whatever. Presumably, it's not even in their G script. It's probably in C++ or C#. But how do I find the outputs of this button? So if I come up here to the node and I click, yeah, see there's no little script icon. So what I'd really like to do is have this button. Hey, that's not too bad. What we would like to do is on press. See, I can do the get pressed, but that's not going to trigger. What I need is an action that fires when the button is clicked. Not having much luck finding any kind of actions. I'm probably just not understanding how these things are being set up. The cops seem very upset. They're honking and sirening. Show, hide, update, draw line, node, get text. So the node isn't going to have it. It would have been on the button if the button had it. So presumably I'm doing this wrong, and I'm thinking of something just fundamentally incorrect, which happens. So you can see how this has an in. I need it to just be an out, like this. I need it to be something that triggers on its own, and I don't know how. I could try and add a function to the button. No, not that. I want to add a script. And then in theory, pressed. There it is. So that in theory should be what I need. But that wasn't available over here, was it? Did I miss it? Pressed. There's get pressed and set pressed, but no pressed itself. So I don't think that I can attach it here. There's presumably a way to do it. Let me just check that other window for a moment here. So creating a signal to a function. Nodes in a tree emit signals when something happens. Godot uses signals for all sorts of things. For this, a node must be selected and a node tab opened. This will allow inspecting the signals. Okay, so control button, inspector, node. There we are. Once again, it was just hidden away in the wrong tab. All right, so we're going to delete that guy. We're going to pull this up here. There's a couple of things going on. I can't seem to, from signal, connect to script. So I can't connect it to a script quite yet, can I? All right, so connect to the pressed signal. Connect it by what? Oh, these aren't like prefabricated. I thought these were prefabricated scripts. They're actually objects in the scene. Okay, so... All right, there we are. Did it. So in theory, we now have an event that happens. Fine, just delete you. We now have an event that happens when the button is pressed. To check whether or not the event does happen, let's toggle the visibility. Set visible. Shapow. No, that's not setting the visibility, is it? That doesn't feel like it's setting the visibility because I don't have an input. It feels like it's getting the visibility. Let's try that one more time here. No? How can I tell it to... Well, I guess for now we'll turn it off, and then we'll save everything and hit play and see what happens. Okay, it crashed. It says invalid call. Problem is, I don't know whether that's an invalid call here or here. Presumably this is the part that broke. But this has only outputs, right? You see, this does take an input. 3 radians. Let's make it 2 radians because that'll be more obvious. Let's see whether this works. It just should be a matter of hitting save, making sure we can see it, and hitting play. Yeah, see, that works. So we figured it out, but for some reason changing the visibility doesn't follow these same rules. Could it be that we don't want the visibility on the node 2D, but want it on, say, here? No, we're still not... I wouldn't be surprised if it just turns out that the visibility call doesn't work. Just whatever, good enough. But that's annoying, because if we can't change the visibility, then we're going to have to change the sprite. Let's go ahead and see whether we can do that. If we drop this, you can see we can have this get and set texture. So if we were to set the texture, we should be able to... And once again... How are we setting the texture? There's only outputs. What am I missing here? Godot, visual, script, set, texture. Changing texture from a script. I want a visual script. I want a node-based change. Yeah, I mean, I'm right about what this should look like. I'm taking a look, and it's just Unreal style node editing. The only difference between Unreal style node editing and something like Unity is Unreal has this event flow structure. Unreal has that, rather. Unity doesn't, which is fine. I don't mind the event flow structure, but if we're setting the visibility, we should obviously be giving it a Boolean value so that we can set the visibility. This is not rocket science here. Same with the texture. Obviously, we should be able to set the texture to a value, but here you can see there's no inputs. There's only an output labeled any. I don't fucking know what that means. All I know is that it makes the machine crash when I try and play it. Boom, it broke. There's just something wrong. And there doesn't seem to be much of a tutorial on the matter. Well, you know what? Let's just check and see whether or not any of this shit works. So that's a get. That's fine. Now how do we do a set? I want to do a set. Don't want to just do a get. Oh, hold control. I'm just an idiot. There. So you can see that this is what it should look like. See that? And if we change this to being a Boolean, I bet it'll look even more correct. Don't know if we can change it to being a Boolean. Now that I'm looking, I don't see an option to give it a specific value. Ah, here we are. See? That's how it's supposed to look. So when I'm setting the visibility, why is it not correctly giving me the option to set the visibility? They don't mention it. Godot, visual scripting, visibility. There are some videos that might work, but this is, there's no text. They all say to do it via script, which I could do. I mean, I'm not allergic to script. Someone has replied to my posting. I don't hate it so far, but I can't seem to figure out how to make a texture, a node, toggle visibility, and you click a button. I get a node that, no, let's go ahead and make sure that we're in a place where we can paste some. Doesn't make sense and crashes when I trigger it. See, the visible node is what I get, but it doesn't have a bool input, and it crashes. Alright, well, I guess that's about it for today. My voice is going anyway. It wasn't a very long one, but yeah, we'll try and make this regular again after a couple of extremely stressful weeks. Hopefully we are back at something resembling a functional lifestyle. See you around, everybody.